Welcome back to another episode of the Drunk Bond Podcast with your host, James St. John Smythe. It's good to be back. Let's just get the apologies out of the way right off the bat. Sorry it's taken me a while. Whenever you want a podcast that comes out twice a year, hey, I'm your guy. You come to me. If you want something a little more regular, you go visit the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network. They actually put out some new material here and there. But if you want scattered, mindless stuff, hey, look no further. You found me. And today I'm coming live from New Orleans, actually. I'm here for the day by myself, and I figured, you know what? Might as well do a podcast. I finally got some time. A little cocktail. What am I drinking, you ask? Well, right now, this is not the drink I want to discuss, but right now I'm actually drinking a watermelon daiquiri from this little bar down the road. But earlier, I wanted to drink this for the podcast, but it's too far away, and it's frozen, and it's a whole to-do. But earlier, I was having it's called a purple drink from Lafitte's in the French Quarter. I think Lafitte's is like the oldest bar in the country, oldest building in New Orleans, it's old. And I don't even know what purple drink's actually called. I always just say 2 purples when I get there. Maybe the Voodoo Daiquiri? I don't know. I don't even know what's in it, honestly. The only thing I've ever heard is whiskey, and I refuse to believe that there's actually whiskey in that drink. It's excellent. It tastes like a grape snowball, snow cone, whatever you call it. I kind of call it the locals' hand grenade. Locals, they don't drink hurricanes and hand grenades. Don't drink hand grenades, okay? It's a horrible drink. Don't do tourist shit when you're in New Orleans. I do some tourist stuff, but not the lame stuff. Hand grenades, the only time I ever had a hand grenade. Do you have time for a story? Do you like stories? Do you like a St. John Smythe story? I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and we walked like miles to get to the French Quarter at night. And I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. But when I got to the bar, I was like dead sober and in a bad mood. So I got a hand grenade. I downed it. I got another hand grenade. I downed it. And I got another hand grenade. And I drank half of it right away. And the next thing I remember, I was just sitting in the corner of the bar by myself, watching like my friends enjoy themselves and like talk to people. But I couldn't get my thoughts together. I was too drunk after just thinking it was a good idea to drink 3 of those things back to back to back. And I just went home. I was at the bar for like 20 minutes. And I just went home after that. Did you like that story? Because I've got more. When you're a functioning alcoholic and you've been visiting the drunk capital of the world for like 20 years, you're going to compile some stories. But I don't have time to get into all those stories today. All right? Let me know if you want some more. I'll sign you up for my newsletter and I'll send you one once a month. All kind of stories. Example is I was at Jazz Fest one time. It got rained out, and I was at a jazz bar that night. Stevie Wonder walks in because he was canceled that day, and he went to the piano. Now, he bumped into a couple things on the way to the piano for obvious reasons, but he just started playing his set. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. And you think, well, goddamn, St. John Smythe, what are you, part of the Illuminati? How the fuck did that happen? Again, I just got lucky. So that's one of those stories you could hear on my newsletter. Another end of the spectrum, one time I saw a homeless man masturbating. And that's while I was walking to go get breakfast. Now that's no way to start your day. You don't need to see that. So not as much glitz and glamour to that story, is there? So more despair on that side. But I did see it, and I wish I didn't, but I did see it. So those are the kind of stories you can get. But guys, we are not here to talk about New Orleans. We're not here to talk about the purple drink, although I highly recommend it. We're here to talk about You Only Live Twice, YOLT, as we call it around my house. Directed by Lewis Gilbert, who also did Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. And all 3 of these movies are very similar. Don't tell anybody, but they're pretty much the same movie. But it goes to show you that if you do the same kind of plot, but in a unique way, in a creative way, in a fun way, it still works. And this is no difference for You Only Live Twice. And this movie kind of started, I think after this movie was kind of the end of Bond Mania. I always like the trilogy of Bond Mania is Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice. Where these movies could do no wrong. And after this movie, Lazenby takes over, Connery comes back, then it's Roger Moore. It takes a while for Roger to get going. This is the end of Bond Mania. So it's sad. It's good while it lasted, right? So let's just get started, shall we? Would you like to get started? So we get a gun barrel and a PTS. And you get that classic Bond trope, something getting hijacked. These astronauts are like putting a satellite out in space, and this unidentified spacecraft, maybe Martians, approaches. And the U.S. spacecraft gets hijacked. And that poor bastard that's out there fucking with the satellite, he's just space trash now. That poor guy. I think he's still out there somewhere. And the U.S. thinks it's the Soviets. You know, that's usually their go-to. Fuck, it's the Russians, right? And the Soviets say, we deny this because the world knows we're a peace-loving people. And then everyone just laughs hysterically for 45 minutes. And the UK said, we caught a signal of it landing in the Sea of Japan. And that's where they'll be looking. And Russia and the United States say, I'm sorry, why are you here? Actually, they should say, oh, okay, you got a signal from that aircraft over the Sea of Japan? Well, let's look into that. But they just ignore that and just point fingers at each other instead. And the UK says, we have a man on it right now. And it cuts to Bond banging some Asian woman. Ling, I think is her name. I love his little Conneryisms. I love old Conneryisms. We've had some interesting times together, Ling. I'll be sorry to go. I don't even know what that means, but I just enjoy it. And they roll up that fucking Murphy bed or whatever, and these dudes come in and start shooting the bed and kill Bond. I think we probably talked about this last time. I don't know who was in on this. So Connery, I guess, knew this was going to happen. Was the girl in on it? Were the cops in on it? If so, like, why even do this whole song and dance? Just, I don't know, the whole thing's... Because were those blanks they were firing? Did he have some sort of trap door in the back to escape? Because when they open it, he's still there and he's got blood on him. Because, spoiler alert, he's not dead. I don't know. It's weird. But that's your PTS. And it's not that great. Does anyone like this pre-title sequence? Never have I seen this in a top 10. Because let me tell you, I read pre-title top 10 lists every day. With my morning coffee, I just Google top 10 James Bond pre-title sequences. Never seen You Only Live Twice on it. I've yet to see it. Nothing happens, really. You just, fake gets shot and doesn't, and then that's it. So there's your pre-title sequence. And we cut to our theme song for the movie, You Only Live Twice by Nancy Sinatra. Now you want to talk about a song that is skyrocketing up my list. I mean, just a fantastic song. Wah, 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 wah. I think Frank, apparently, Sinatra, was initially offered to sing it, but he turned it down and said, give this to my daughter or I'll fucking have you killed. I think that's how it went. And Chubby and Harry were like, well, we don't want any trouble, man. So can she sing? We could just give it to her. Great song. And it was sampled for some recent song, but it has since escaped me. But that little lick at the beginning was used for something. A classic Bond song. Top 10 for sure. Great song. Great title sequence, too. So we cut to Bond's funeral at sea. Some random dude reading a paper. I don't know, is he supposed to be important? Always kind of confused me why they cut to that guy reading the paper. And they rescue him from the sea, and they bring him on board this ship. Now you want to know why the Brits aren't a military power anymore? Look no further than their socks. I mean, they're wearing white shorts with a white shirt and white crew socks up to their knees. They look like assholes. If I'm in a battle and I see that little dainty man like that running around, you think I'm going to be scared? I'll put it right in his beak, man. You know what I mean? Enough with the crew socks. Put a pair of pants on. Preferably not white. Maybe go blue. Maybe go black. Establish dominance. Power over your enemy. Don't wear all white. Or red. Why do they wear red back in the day? You don't really mix in with the rest of the elements when you're wearing red. It's no wonder that they've won a war in 300 years. Anyway, so Penny, they call her Penny for some reason, and M have an office set up on that boat. But Moneypenny looks fantastic in this movie, by the way. I just realized it recently. Like that she's, I don't know if it's the uniform or what, man, but she looks sharp. I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't know if you have, but I've been thinking about it. And M's like, now that you're dead, perhaps some of your enemies will pay less attention to you, which I guess that was the reason why fake kill him. Remember that for later, because it never gets brought up again. I don't know why they kill him in this movie. It's just they had to because of the title. It's all very strange. This is the big one, 007. I wish Bond would have said, why is this the big one? A spacecraft getting hijacked? This is the big one? Why weren't the other ones the big one? I mean, Dr. No was fucking around with spacecrafts, and Goldfinger was about to nuke Kentucky. Number 2 was about to nuke, like, Miami and all these other cities. So why is this the big one? Stupid. Have you been drinking again, you old dirty drunk? So they're not sure if it did land in Japan, and wants Bond to find out who can launch that type of rocket and all that, and sends him to Tokyo to meet his contact, Henderson. And they launch him out of this submarine, which I guess is the best way to get him to Tokyo. I love the little sign next to the fucking thing. It's like the tube is empty, and then they put Bond in the tube, and then they put a little card on it say tube loaded. There has to be a better way to do that, right? Like a bathroom portalette, when it's red, when there's someone in there, when you just lock the lock, it turns red. When you unlock it, it's green. Did you remember to put the card back after we shot him out? No, I can't remember. Well, shit, is anyone in there? How can we check? Maybe open the fucking door. You can't just remember if someone's in there? Or how about when it's locked, let's just make, if it's locked, then someone's in there. If it's unlocked, no one's in there. Or none of this stuff is even necessary. Because you're not going to put a body in there and then just go have a cup of coffee. Right when you put the body in there, you shoot them out. Stupids. So they got to work on their efficiency on this boat. So Bond arrives in Tokyo. He just swims up. I guess that's the best. Again, it's the best way to get to Tokyo. Just swim there. And, he's walking around Tokyo. People are following him. You don't know if they're good or bad. I love this part. Bond in Tokyo, it's just so different than what we've had before. Like, you got the, Dr. No and Thunderball. That was just Bahamas, Jamaica, tropical. From Russia with Love, Turkey, Goldfinger, Switzerland, Kentucky, and all that. This is like Tokyo. It's so much different than what we've had so far. I love this part. He goes to the sumo wrestler place, the locker room, watches sumo wrestling. I love the sumo wrestling. I love the big crowd and everything. And he's contacted by Aki, who brings him to Henderson. That's his contact. And he meets up with Henderson in his room and tells him to meet Tanaka. Jesus Christ, can we just... couldn't it just send me straight to Tanaka? Go to Tokyo and send me to Aki. Aki will send me to Henderson. Henderson will send me to Tanaka. Can you just send me to Tanaka? To Tanaka? Talk about efficiency. Jeez, wasting my goddamn time. Although, I'm probably in the minority here. No one even notices this scene. This scene with Henderson, for some reason, I've just always loved it. I cherish this scene. What do you think about that? I cherish it. Huh? What do you cherish in your life? Probably not much. I cherish this scene. I'm not even sure why. It's quiet. There's no music. It's safe. Well, safe for a minute. They're drinking. They're kissing. They're touching. I don't know. I can't really explain why I like it, but I just like it. It's very comfortable. But it's not for long because Henderson gets stabbed in the back while he's talking to Bond, as he's about to tell him who hijacked the rocket. So Bond jumps through that paper wall and beats up this assassin and assumes his identity. I love the little Bond guitar theme. That's just a side note, but if you ever want to listen to it, it's nice, it's fun. John Barry at it again. I didn't even realize how much I love parts of this movie. Because so far, I've just been a lot of gleaning reviews so far from me. And he poses as the assassin and gets in the car with the driver, who is actually The Rock's grandfather. Now, that's a fun fact. That is so much fun. I mean, I just took your boring day and turned it into a day of fun with that fact. The Rock's grandfather. And he walks up acting like he has diarrhea or whatever. He's hunched over, groaning. And they go to Osato Chemicals. And The Rock's grandfather's like, well, you're like a foot taller than you were before. And your face looks different. And you smell different. And you have a different build than the guy. You're not by any chance a different person. And sure enough, they get to Osato Chemicals. And The Rock's grandfather takes off his mask and gasp. That's not that dickhead assassin. That's Card Sense. So they start having a couch fight, rearranging all the furniture, throwing shit everywhere. It's actually a pretty solid fight. And I think he hits The Rock's grandfather in the head with a statue. And he has this GoldenEye, the video game death. He gets hit, but he's already in the process of rolling. So he finishes his roll, and then when he's done rolling, then he goes to die. It's really enjoyable. And then he starts drinking Siamese vodka. Every time I drink something bad, I either say, foo, yuck, or I say, Siamese vodka. So he hacks into the safe, which I guess he's just had that safe hacker in his pocket. He's in the same suit he was wearing since he swam up to Tokyo. So he's had that safe hacker in his pocket this entire time? Seems unlikely. I don't know. Or should I just not worry about that and just move on? I don't know. I can't move on. So he hacks into the safe and the alarm starts going off. He steals a bunch of paperwork and shit. And the security guards, they just start instantly opening fire. Just fuck it, man. It is an office building, but screw it. Like, you can't have an office with bullet holes in it. You have to move. Can y'all be careful? So he leaves Osato Chemicals. Aki's like just driving around and she picks him up. And then she just gets like cunty all of a sudden, like runs away after they escape. And he starts chasing her, like, what the hell's going on? And then he like falls through this trap door to meet Tanaka. I don't know why she ran away. Why not just bring him to Tanaka? You get in the car and say, oh, hey, that was a close call back there. Let's go meet Tanaka. And he should have said, why couldn't I just met with Tanaka in the first place, dickheads? Well, you Japanese do things oddly, huh? Enough with the bullshit. But the best way to arrange a meeting is just to start sprinting to the meeting place. Dummy. So Bond shows him the documents that he stole from the safe. And they're like orders for some naval stores, like just basically like some rocket shit. And rockets are involved, so, there's a lead. I love Tanaka. Calls him Bon-san. Oh, Bon-san. And I love Tanaka's train, too. They go on his train after that. And turns out the photo from the safe has a picture of a boat called Ningpo on it. And it was taken from like some U.S. tourist who was liquidated as a routine precaution. Well, I mean, don't talk about strict. Hey, someone took a picture of our boat. Oh, okay. You think that should be a problem? I don't know. I'll just liquidate her then. All right. That seems a bit harsh, but can do. I am your subordinate, so I have to. They're getting drunk on sake, 98.4 degrees. That's fun. I'm kind of over hot sake. I can't do it. Most people have bad experiences with sake. They had too much sake one night. My wife, I think it was her 29th birthday. And you want to talk, it was in New Orleans actually. And you want to talk about a rough night with some sake. And she has not touched the stuff ever since. So, watch out for sake, guys. And watch out for hot sake. But I still love it. And that's really all that matters. So then, they go from Tanaka's office to Tanaka's train to Tanaka's house. And he says Osato might be a front for like this foreign power or whatever. And they just start fucking bitches over there. There's no other way to say it. I'm sorry for the language, but that's just what they start doing. In Japan, men come first and women come second. I might just retire to here. So 3 women just start bathing him. Why does he even have this bath in his house? It's like it's like a whole room dedicated to like little ponds that you could bathe in. I'll just settle for this little lady here. Good choice. She is very sexiful. So he goes get a massage from this girl and just starts rambling on about I don't know what. Last time I had a massage was in Hong Kong, but we were rudely interrupted by a few gunmen, so we had to cut it short. Never got to finish it. The masseuse is like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's just like saying all this under his breath. I can't really explain it. You have to go watch the video of it, but it's another Conneryism that he's just like, oh, yes. And then Aki comes in during the massage, and he just bangs her. Oddly happy to see her. Like, they only met one time, and now they're like old friends with benefits. So after the happy ending, Bond meets with Osato, posing as Mr. Fisher, a businessman. Just your general businessman. I mean, the elevator man is just staring daggers at Card Sense. And he should be like, well, okay, I already know something sinister is going on here with the way this fellow's looking at me. Back off, guy. I don't know how they do things in Japan, but we want our personal space in the West, all right? Better check this guy's paperwork. Make sure he's all right. And he gets to the office, and the secretary or whoever is like, you're 3.5 minutes early. Okay, what's your fucking point? Punctuality, sir. Look it up. That's another Western ideal. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. What do you think about that? Huh? That's a little custom of ours. So he meets Osato, same room as the night before. And Bond's like, I hope those cameras weren't on, because we were doing some things. And I see you rearranged the furniture back. That's nice. That was quick. So Osato starts looking at the x-ray to see Bond's gun. And he's just blatantly staring at Helga, Osato's confidential secretary, which I don't even know what a confidential secretary is. I don't have one. Do you have one? And they start drinking champagne in the morning, which, that's just fun, huh? Osato's like, I have a glass every morning. Fucking drunk? Every morning? Like Monday? Tuesday? You have a glass of champagne in the morning? Bond's like, it's bad for your liver. Nonsense. It adds sparkle to your day. Okay. I'm going to start using that. I want to see how that goes over at an AA meeting. But Osato, you don't need alcohol to be happy. Nonsense. It adds sparkle to my day. It adds sparkle to my day. That's a true drunk. That reminds me of Me and a few friends were talking about, we were day drinking one time, and we're like, why is day drinking so much fun? And I was like, I think it's just like the hope that comes with it. Like, now that's, I mean, again, spoken like a true drunk. The hope. It's true, though. You start having a little cocktail at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It's fun, man. You're having like nighttime fun, and it's like you still have the whole day ahead of you. Am I just making myself sound worse? Oh well. I love day drinking. I'm doing it right now. And I'll do it again. Just watch out. So anyway, they're chatting, and, Osato sees the gun in Bond's pocket. I mean, he's like, you're not that motherfucker who rearranged all my furniture last night, are you? Put a hole in my paper wall that I set up myself? He's like, oh, what happened to Williamson? He fell into the pulverizer at the works. Ah, how shocking. A very honorable death. Yes, he gained great face with the company. Speaking of Japanese customs, that's like, over there, they're like dying is a good thing. Like you gave your family great honor when you die. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that one. I'm not going to get on board with that. Falling into a pulverizer is an honorable death. I don't think so. They still got those Japanese in the jungle somewhere fighting World War II. So, that's just some customs I'm not going to adopt from the Japanese. So Bond asks about, like, buying some products and shit and leaves. And Osato's like, kill him. I don't fucking like him. Kill him. And he moved my couch around last night, and I didn't like it. And he runs out of Osato chemicals after getting shot at, and Aki's just in a car again. What is this bitch? She's like making laps around Osato chemicals all day? She's just driving around? It's like her third time over there. I don't even know why Bond met with Osato. He just goes over there, poses as Mr. Fisher, a businessman, asks about buying a couple products, and then leaves. That was it. And Osato's like, kill him. I saw you on my cameras last night. What was the point of that? He could have been killed. I mean, you got to give it to Osato. He just, like, his henchmen out in the lobby were like, fuck, just open fire right now. Clearly he doesn't care about bullet holes in his office, because that's the second time in 2 days. So after that, Aki and Bond and the henchmen have a little car chase, and this chopper comes and, like, magnets the bad guy's car and throws him in the, I don't know, Sea of Japan, which is just great. And they see that helicopter coming, they're like, oh, Godzilla! So, Tanaka says that Ningpo, that boat, is owned by Osato. I thought we already knew that, but anyway. And it's loading at the docks right now. And Bond says, dang, that's lucky. So they go check it out. And meanwhile, tells M to send little Nelly. So Bond goes to the docks, check out the boat, and they see that the boat is delivering rocket fuel. Which, again, rockets at the beginning, remember? Rockets. But meanwhile, those henchmen at the docks, they do not fucking appreciate unauthorized personnel snooping around their shit. Because, I mean, right when they spot this dude, they're like, nope, fuck this guy. The forklift guy's like, screw it. I'm running him over. I don't care who he is. I just don't know who he is. I'm running him over with a forklift. I love this fight. Mostly because people keep coming at Bond with like a knife or a bat or like a club. And Bond just has his gun and just takes it out and just keeps shooting him. Like this one guy just runs after him with like a bat. And Bond just shoots him in the gut. This is so great. Bringing a knife to a gunfight, man. Can't recommend that. And then they go like out on the roof and have a great fight up there. It's just a great shot like in the helicopter. Great fight. Great everything so far. I'm loving You Only Live Twice. And after all that, some asshole knocks him out and sends him to Helga. Helga, I think, is number 11. That's Osato's confidential secretary. Mr. Osato believes in a healthy chest. So yeah, she starts interrogating him. I've got you now. Well, enjoy yourself. And they just start making out like after a couple of seconds. And I have no idea why. Well, I have some reason why. And I think Bond kind of thinks he's bribed his way to freedom. He has all that money. And they bang, and they get on this plane to escape. And then she says, actually, fuck you. And keeps him in the plane, parachutes out. Bond's had it this time, right? But he like judo chops some wood and lands the plane somewhere. And Helga's parachuting down. It's like, wait, shit, did he land that? Shit! He got through the wood? But it was a whole block of wood. How'd he do that? I'm sure he's dead. I'm going to go ahead and tell him that he's dead. And Bond gets back to Tanaka. Bond-san, you should not chase girls. It'll be the end of you. And Haki's like, you wouldn't touch her, would you? Oh, heaven forbid. So the Ningpo ship unloaded a shipment on an island. Well, that's some good commentary, right? The Ningpo ship unloaded a shipment on an island. Huh? That's some important information for you. Hold that with you. I've got all kind of dynamite pieces of info for you waiting just like that. So stay tuned. And Q arrives in shorts, which is always a good look. And he arrives there with little Nellie. There was the Bubbles Tickle My Tchaikovsky, one of my favorite Twitter accounts about Bond. And because Bond gets there and Q's there, and he says, "Welcome to Japan, Dad. Is my little girl hot and ready?" And the Bubbles Tickle My Tchaikovsky says, "What you don't want your daughter's babysitter to say." And it cuts to Connery saying, "Is my little girl hot and ready?" I love that. So anyway, he takes the little Nellie to go snooping around, and then some other choppers come to attack. This is just a fantastic sequence. And you get the Bond theme. This is just great. And little Nellie is spectacular. I think this and the Aerostar from Octopussy pre-title sequence, those little tiny planes are fantastic. Although, do you see how they have to start this thing? They have to start it with their hand. How many poor bastards lost a hand doing that? I mean, the guy doing it in the movie for real, that's terrifying. You're not going to lose a hand, guys. There's no better way than to hand start it. And like 4 choppers are like all attacking Bond with rockets and guns and shit, and he's still doing like his playful little Nellie talk. Little Nellie got a hot reception. 4 big shots made improper advances toward her, but she defended her honor with great success. Okay, enough, Bond. You were attacked? Is that what you're saying? Can you talk normal now? Enough with the little Nellie playful banter. So you were attacked and almost killed. 4 big shots made improper advances toward her, but she defended her honor with great success. Little Nellie got a hot reception. Jesus Christ. This is so stupid. So, the Russians launch their own rocket, meanwhile, and it's hijacked. And they think the U.S. did it. So, a lot of back and forth. Everyone's pissed. Now, I don't know if the Russians took any precautions, since there's a spacecraft bandit about, but I guess they just said fuck it. And we see that they land the spacecraft in a hollowed-out volcano, and we see Blofeld and Osato and Helga. So they're all in league together. This is just one of the all-time great layers, isn't it? I mean, people used to come to this thing while they were filming to take a tour of it. It's a hollowed-out volcano that they actually built. It cost them $1 million. It cost more than Dr. No cost to make the whole movie. They tore it down after production, which is a shame. That place would still be unbelievable to go see. I'm not sure if it's up to code, though. There's no hand railings on the stairs. The fire marshal wouldn't appreciate any of this. But it's still cool. I mean, you got, like, Blofeld. He has his own, like, little apartment in there. You have a control room, a working monorail, a legit monorail. Piranha. It's fantastic. So, anyway, Blofeld's meeting with everybody. I shall be in my apartment. And he meets with the Japs. And Blofeld says, I want a little bit of money in advance. Just a little bit. $100 million. And the Japs are like, fuck you. It says their government's pleased, so it is the Japanese government. And then Blofeld shows him his piranha. And the Japs should be like, the fuck is he showing us that for? You're not about to do something dastardly and menacing, are you? So yeah, he wants his $100 million, and the Japs are like, no, the agreement was, we don't pay you until war breaks out between the U.S. and Russia. This is extortion. Extortion is my business. It says so in our name. I don't know if you read my business card, or if you Wikipedia'd us. Say it with me now. Special Executive for Counterterrorism, Revenge, and Extortion. That's the big one. You didn't read the whole thing, did you? Extortion. Spectre. Got it? Yes, I'm extorting you. I don't give a shit. I love to picture Ian Fleming, because this was from Thunderball, the name Spectre. I like to picture Ian Fleming and Kevin McClory and that dickhead Whittingham coming up with those letters, because those first few are just like, that's kind of lazy. Like, hey, what do y'all want Spectre to stand for? Oh, it's a acronym? Oh, I didn't know that. They're all drunk. Fleming was a dirty drunk. And he's like, oh, okay, how about Special Executive? Well, we need a P in there. No, the SP, Special stands for SP. Special Executive. That sounds important, right? It's like, goddamn, Ian, can you take this seriously and stop drinking so much goddamn scotch? Yeah, well, fuck you. Let's go to the bar. And they stopped right there. And they didn't come up with the rest till the next day. That's how I picture it going. Have I mentioned how much of a goddamn drunk Ian Fleming was? And I love it. And the guy liked some cigarettes as well. Can't see why he died early. So Blofeld meets with Osato and Helga and realizes that Bond's alive. And I just love that Osato right away is like, fuck it. It was Helga's fault. Helga did it. Helga did everything. Kill Helga. Wasn't my fault. I'm walking away from this. And he's like, all right, is there another way out? Or do I have to go over this bridge with piranha everywhere? Is this necessary? And sure enough, they drop Helga into the piranha. Osato's face is so great. That's like actually how people would react to seeing someone get eaten alive by piranha. It's so great. Anyway, so let's go take a little break for the advertisements. Oh, yeah. I didn't even have to look ahead to remember what the advertisement was for this one. Risa Rings Oriental Grocery. Oh, hello, ladies and rads. You come to my store, Risa Rings, and you'll love it. With prices so low, they're ridiculous. Serving delicious foods such as dog romaine. Okay, stereotypes, guys. Not cool. Well, they wrote it, not me. Cat tenderloin. Cat tenderloin with fry rye. Washed down with rim and rime soda or beer and liquor. Fearing Rocky? Buy one of our lottery tickets to win 11 million yen. We're also a money laundering business and can do your actual laundry as well. Asians do love laundry. And it's safe too. The police are only a phone call away. And they come very quickly. Jesus. Store so lovely, you'll want to live here. ROR. That's Risa Rings Oriental Grocery, located on the ref of Wrong John Silver's. No loitering. Hey, stop Asian hate, guys. All right? I won't stand by and just let this go. If you pronounce your L's with an R like an Asian person, you are part of the problem. You're killing Asians. You're killing your father, Larry. So Risa Rings. Go check it out. Just to the left of Long John Silver's. And do not loiter. Or linger. Bond news. Oh, stop me if you've heard it before. There is no Bond news. Nothing. Zilch. Nada. But, St. John Smith news, we are less than 3 months away from my return to GoldenEye, Jamaica. And I just cannot tell you how excited I am. I've been talking about this legit. We got back from our honeymoon, and I started talking about the next trip. And I've not stopped, really, in 3 years. And I may or may not have picked out a couple of shirts and set them aside this early, like I'm going to summer camp and I'm 6 years old. I set them aside, and I'm going to wear them at GoldenEye. I may or may not have done that, and I may or may not have made a little list of cocktails that I'd like to enjoy while I'm there. That consists of mojitos, pina coladas, rum and ting, the Bond experience, and a bunch of those people. And I was jealous as almighty. They just went up there, like 20 of them, like a Bond fan event to GoldenEye. And I was so goddamn jealous watching all these videos. And I kind of couldn't enjoy it. So, and I was kind of hoping they were going for James Bond Day, which is when I'm going, October 5th. And I was going to see them there and like maybe say, hey guys, can I join your club? Can I come? You guys need one more? But it didn't happen. So now I'm back to just like wasting my wife's time talking about Bond while I'm at GoldenEye. But, you know, her problem, not mine. Less than 3 months. Maybe I'll do a podcast from there. Probably not, but, you know, it's fun to dream. It's fun to pretend. Back to the movie. So, Bond gets to Tanaka's ninja training school. Now, right now, we're at the 1 hour and 10 minute mark. This is where the movie kind of goes down a little bit. Because up to now, dude, this movie is the shit. But it just kind of comes to a halt here. By the way, I thought ninjas were supposed to be quiet. They're making so much goddamn racket. Screaming. Using real weapons to kill each other, by the way. That's not, I don't know what the point of that is. And I love, like, they're doing all these ninja things, these old school training. And then he goes to other things, like, these are our modern ninjas. And it's just ninjas with just handguns, just shooting. Like, yeah, we discovered that was a little more effective than, like, throwing ninja stars at people. Maybe just a gun and a bullet to the head might work, too. Turns out it was a bit more effective. So, Tanaka's plan is to have 100 ninjas go onto the island, turn Bond a Japanese man, and Bond to train as a ninja, and Bond to take a wife. Well, I mean, he's really cooking up a scheme here, right? I love that, though. He has to become Japanese. A what now? All for cover to infiltrate the island. For I don't know what reason they even do this. And yeah, he has to get married. And Bond's asking about his future wife. And Tanaka's like, she has a face like a pig. And Bond's like, the hell with that idea. I love how he doesn't even want to be fake married to an ugly person. Like, it's just for show. I don't care. I don't want to be associated with the uglies. I don't like fucking ugly people. I'm too good looking. They make me sick. I'll vomit around them. If you're not a 9 or above, I hate you. I don't like the uglies. I don't even like the word ugly. Don't talk to me about ugly people. Just talking about this is making me feel a bit queasy. So he doesn't like that. And anyway, they turn him Japanese, which is just the dumbest shit. Fucks Aki again, just for good measure. And she gets killed in the middle of sleep. I guess Osato sent that guy, because Blofeld told him to kill Bond. Why even stop at Bond? I mean, everyone's coming to kill Spectre from that ninja camp. Just kill everyone. How about just set off a nuke in the ninja training school, and it's over. Ball game. Go back to the volcano. Blofeld's like, Osato, did you kill Bond? Yes, I did kill Bond, among other people. He's dead. A lot of other people are dead too. Like a like a lot of people died. Yeah. Also, I think we might need to evacuate this because I kind of overshot the mark, and I just dropped a nuclear bomb in the ninja school, and we can't come back here for like another 48 years. So, I saw Helga get bit by those piranha, and I didn't want to screw this up. You said kill Bond. To answer your question, yes, I killed Bond, but there's a good chance I killed every single person in a 30-mile radius too. So, do you have a helicopter handy? So the Japanese are training, and this random guy, I guess from Spectre, tries to kill Bond. I guess Bond's disguise didn't work. So yeah, they discover this guy's dead. You killed him. Yeah, is there a problem? I've seen like 40 guys get killed since I've been here on these training missions. So what's the problem with this one more guy? Also, I have a license to kill. And M says I don't know what that means, but, fuck him, right? I have a license to kill. So we're moving on, Tanaka. And we cut to Bond getting married. This just takes so long, too. Bond's face when ugly women walk in, because he thinks that's going to be his wife. I mean, it looks like he's about to, truly vomit. Like he's looking at something so just detestable, like, oh, God, ugly people. This is why it's like his senses are offended. Why do they even have to have the whole ceremony if it's just for cover? Is it just to show us, Japanese culture? I don't give a shit about Japanese culture. I mean, he didn't do that with Tatiana from Russia with Love. They were, engaged, right? Or, no, they were married. Or Rosie Carver, they didn't do any of that. So what? I don't know why they do all this shit. So anyway, Bond gets married to the actual pretty one. And her name's Kissy Suzuki. That's not a joke. So they get to the island the next day. One guy looks at him as they swim up. And that's it. Because I'd already forgotten, why he was even Japanese to begin with. So why they do this, again, I don't know. And he's speaking Japanese in a Scottish accent. He's not even trying. They could have just, overdubbed him with kind of a Japanese accent. No? Too much? So they get to this hut or whatever. And Kissy's like, you'll sleep over there. But we're supposed to be married. You gave the priest a fake name. But we must keep up appearances. This is just... a man convincing a woman to sleep with him is always funny. Come on. We're supposed... for our cover, we have to sleep in the same... Come on. He starts pouting, throws down his oysters. Just like a kid. And just watches her sleep. It's also not a joke. Any noise she makes. What's that? What'd you say? You want to consummate our love? What? No, leave me alone, man. Stop staring at me, creep. So, meanwhile, the U.S. pushes up the launch. And they warn the Russians. Don't fuck with our spacecrafts. And I'm serious this time. And Tanaka's men search the island but find nothing. And Kissy's like, but something has happened, though. A Rami girl rowed her boat to some cave. And when her boat came out, she was dead. And it's like, you didn't want to tell us this before? Someone got murdered? That's kind of a red flag, no? Were you not listening, paying attention to any of this? Stupid. So they go to that cave, and there's gas all around, so they jump in the water. His disguise is gone now, But boy, was it valuable. And they go up this mountain toward the volcano, where all the, tunnels and stuff lead. And then they see a chopper go into the volcano, and they're like, holy shit, that's a goddamn lair. Boy, Blofeld, you have outdone yourself. A lair. And Bond gets in and tells Kissy to go get Tanaka and send all his stupid ninjas with their stars, but preferably the ninjas with guns. Please, if I can pick, leave the like big wood sticks and stuff and the nunchucks home and just bring the guns. And meanwhile, the Americans launch the rocket. And Bond gets into the lair and releases the kidnapped astronauts, beats up these Spectre astronauts with the help of the other astronauts. You know, astronauts are just like nerds, right? They all went to MIT. They're crazy smart. That's why they can like handle that equipment. They're not, they're not equipped to beat up Spectre henchmen. But anyway, so he attempts to just board the flight. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to space. And he gets caught because he's carrying his air conditioner. I guess you're not supposed to do that. I don't know. Why doesn't a real astronaut go with him? Or maybe that's some of the people that's with him. We just don't see that. I don't know. I don't know what his plan was. I don't even know why these astronauts are still alive. When they hijack these aircrafts, they don't just kill them. Seems kind of stupid. So then we cut to Bond going to meet Blofeld, and we finally get a Blofeld reveal. This is at 1 hour and 38 minutes. It's 18 minutes left of the movie. We finally get our villain reveal. They tell me you were assassinated in Hong Kong. You only live twice, Mr. Bond. And they launched the rocket to go hijack the U.S. spacecraft. And Blofeld, I'll tell you what, he's getting his fucking moon rocks off watching all this. I think he's got his thumb inside that cat. What do you think about that? Huh? I think he's doing some weird shit right now. Because his face is like he's climaxing. So yeah, I guess they want the U.S. and Russia to have like a nuclear war. And I don't even know why. Like, so that would leave Spectre as the main power. But they don't even have a country. I don't know. I mean, money, okay. But like, I don't know. I was never really clear on that. But again, I'm not really clear on a lot of things. So maybe this is just par for the course, right, guys? So Tanaka's men get to the lair, and they get turned into sushi, man, because they close the fucking door at top, and machine guns just start wiping them out. They said they only send 100 people. Well, I counted. St. John Smith counted. And I mean, they must have killed 50, 60 people right there. There's not many guys left. And then Bond smokes his, like, gun cigarette. I'm not sure if I mentioned that gadget before, but he got a cigarette that's a gun. And he shoots the whatever, and they start fighting, and all hell breaks loose, lets Tanaka's men in, and a big fight ensues. And the aircraft's about to get to the Americans, and the Americans they're almost hoping that it gets hijacked. Like they got their finger on the button. They're like, just try some bullshit, man. I will nuke you so fast. I nuke you so fast. You wish I wouldn't nuke you so fast. And Blofeld meets up with Bond again and points a gun at Bond and then kills Osato. For some reason, I don't know why he doesn't just kill them both. And then tells him to come with him to the monorail. And then says, goodbye, Mr. Bond. But Tanaka throws a throwing star. Hey, there you go. The throwing star actually worked. He throws a throwing star and knocks the gun out of Blofeld's hand. Now, you want to talk about a dumb fucking sequence. He's got Osato and Bond, who he wants both dead. And he's got a gun. And they're unarmed. Points the gun at Bond and then goes to Osato, kills Osato, and says, come with me, Bond. I want to kill you like 20 yards this way. And then goes to shoot him, announces he's about to kill him. And then, so he deserves to not kill him right there. Fucking idiot. So Bond fights that random blonde henchman that I don't think I've even mentioned him either. He just kind of pops up here and there. Can't remember his name. Hans, maybe? That sounds like a blonde henchman name, right? So they have a nice little fight. Feeds him to the piranha. Now, Bond handles watching someone eaten alive by piranha a little better than Osato. He almost just kind of enjoys it. Bon appetit. And he gets the keys to the control room and blows up the aircraft that's about to hijack the U.S. aircraft. So, hooray. And then Blofeld just starts blowing up his own lair, which, that's not nice. They worked hard on that, man. A hollowed-out volcano, you know how long this took? You're just going to blow it up? Of course, there's a lot of nuclear fallout from Osato's nuclear bomb, so maybe they do need to get out of there. And I love how they're like, if that aircraft would have hijacked the U.S. aircraft, World War III would have broken out. But it's like, would it have? Like, we know who's behind it. We're here. We have proof. We see it. You couldn't have just told America and Russia, hey, y'all hold up. I know who's behind all this. It's not Russia or America. It's Spectre in Japan. It's in a volcano. It's right here. Yeah, but we already kind of had our hearts set on nuclear war with each other and killing everybody, so we're going to go that route. Sorry. So the plane drops these rafts, and Bond and Kissy fuck on them. And like a submarine picks him up, and you got 8 credits. And I'll say this right now. It's a good thing Bond faked his death at the beginning of the movie. Do you remember that? Do you remember all the way back at the beginning of this podcast when Bond faked his death? That's a good thing he did that, right? Anyway, there's You Only Live Twice. Huge success at the box office. Good reviews. Still ranked very high amongst Bond fans. Among the Connery movies, I'd probably say it usually ranks around 4th, but it's still like, I see it a good bit in the top 10 of people's lists. I think if you compile all the fans' list, it's probably middle of the pack. Great Bond flick, has everything you want. And the only thing that doesn't do it for me, number one, Connery's not very good in it. That's just barely even an opinion at this point. He's just not. He's phoning it in. He was so done with this role, but he had one more movie to do. You can just tell in so many scenes. It's like, good Lord, man, he just doesn't give a shit anymore. So he's not that Connery from the last 4 movies. And then that 25 minutes of the training school, the marriage, all that stuff, the whole movie just comes to a halt. Because after that, the layer stuff is fantastic. It's like classic Bond. So those two things prevent it from being a top 10 movie for me. What are you going to do? I still love it though. Shit, was the only fun fact I gave you The Rock's grandfather? Let's see if I have any more. Oh, there are some fun facts that I didn't. For this movie, we made You Only Live Twice baked potatoes. Huh? There's a nice little play on words for you. The actress that played Kissy originally was supposed to play Aki, but she didn't learn English well enough, so she was replaced. And then she threatened to kill herself, and the producers gave her the part. I'm shocked they even did that. They're like, well, then go kill yourself then. I don't care. Because she was going to bring her family great shame or whatever. And she was overdubbed the whole time anyway, so who cares if she can't speak English? I'm not sure if it's a fun fact, but it's a fact. This broad threatening to commit suicide. I'm sure she just did that the rest of her life. Anytime she didn't get her way, just said, I'm going to bring great shame to my family. I'm going to kill myself. Okay, well, I don't want you to do that. All right, fine. It's the only movie where Bond doesn't drive a car. That's a fun fact, right? Aki's doing the driving. And Chubby Broccoli, Harry Saltzman, Louis Gilbert, and Ken Adam, the set designer guy, were scouting locations in Japan and were due to return on this specific flight, but canceled their flight to watch a ninja demonstration, and the plane ended up crashing, killing everyone on board. Imagine that shit. They could have been on that flight. And then what would have happened? We'd have had Michael G. Wilson, who's 24 years old, and a 2-year-old Barbara Broccoli in charge. That wouldn't have worked. But I'm sure Harry Saltzman wouldn't have gotten the financial problems. I'm sure his kids wouldn't have shit the bed. So maybe it would have been different. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember where I ranked this last time. I think I ranked it above Thunderball. Maybe 13 or 12, somewhere around there. 14. Great movie. The girls are okay. I just love the locations in this movie. I love Tanaka. Blofeld's great. Although I do kind of prefer the Blofeld where you don't see him. The henchmen are okay. I love The Rock's grandfather, right? So yeah, there's You Only Live Twice. Great Bond flick. It works as a Sunday Bond flick. It works as a Friday night Bond flick because it's it's an old school Connery. Just a good time. So there you have it. Next time, I'm not sure if we just keep going chronologically with On Her Majesty's Secret Service, or if I go back to Roger, maybe Octopussy. Who knows, guys? I just don't know. But hopefully I'll finish all the movies before the year's up. I'll get on a better rhythm. All right, we'll see you next time.
Make one dream come true. You only